again today against Alliance?
I think it could be. We saw yesterday they actually gave Bambo the safe lane. That allowed him to get under an 8-minute Blink Dagger against Vega and just totally was able to control the game, just picking off that Death Prophet repeatedly. So if he can have a similar performance, very similar to what the panel was saying, I could very easily see 4CL taking this game in around the 25-minute mark, give or take. Especially with the Night Stalker, you win your lanes, and then you can just asphyxiate Alliance. You know, like Nature's Prophet has a really hard time now because of the extra catch added by the Bat Rider. You're trying to split push at nighttime, or even like if darkness comes out, it's very difficult for you. But important to note that Alliance's last 2 picks, they really wanted to secure themselves a laning phase, right? Like they took Lich, Spirit Breaker. That just screams, I want to make sure I don't lose my lane so that Night Stalker pick never really comes to fruition and just makes our mid-game hell. So we'll see what they can get done early here.
I think this is going to be a matchup that a lot of people are going to be very interested to follow. We've seen already at this LAN 4 Clovers, they've had a great run to get to this point here on day 2. And Alliance, of course, this is their first match. They were able to get themselves from the initial DreamLeague stage straight into day 2. So their first match here at LAN, but of course, they've got the home crowd support as well, though. A lot of the players on 4 Clovers, they've got a fair few that were back in the day alongside those on Alliance. So a little bit of a rivalry going on, a little bit of a fun one as well, though, as everyone's friends here. But they're not going to be friends here on the battlefield, as we could see some pretty crazy stuff kick off. And as you said, a lot of focus on the laning stage from both sides. And if Bambo gets a good timing on that Blink Dagger, we can expect 4 Clovers to just go, and try and force the fights on Alliance.
Now this matchup so far, if it's going to stay at 1v1, Bulldog versus Bambo, this is what I really want to keep an eye on. See who gets the better of the laning phase. You could look to see Bulldog maybe teleporting around early to try to pressure the SF in mid lane, if they can find an opportunity for that, as they do have, seems 3 heroes from 4CL right now.
Tri-lane mid if from 4 Clovers.
Our Shadow Fiend needs farm. Let's get an early game going.
And it's understandable. We've seen before what Pycat can do on this hero. He can get insanely ahead and just pretty much carry the game on his own back if he gets a good start on this hero.
Yeah, the one thing is, can the Spirit Breaker actually find a place to charge? So a lot of the times you pick that hero to just create chaos in the early game. Like Minuts is going to have to make sure that he can either try to pressure mid, maybe try to pressure top a little bit, because as a melee support, you really want to pick that hero in a situation where you have a good kill target.
Unload it. Nice moving on as Pycat was hoping for the toss back, a little bit unlucky there. Caught himself a creep instead of the hero. But yeah, as you said, a lot of focus on how this mid lane matchup and how this top lane goes. Bulldog obviously on his signature Prophet. And we'll see how well he manages to manage against this Bambo Batrider. Bottom lane as well, S4 on the quad. I mean, both teams, Alliance particularly, have got these heroes that we know that they can be very, very good with, Andy.
Yeah, there's a lot of comfort zone coming out from Alliance, so if you're a fan, this is a lineup that I would expect them to know in and out. You got some split push going. Their team fight's not too bad either. Loda, Tiny, one of his iconic heroes. 4CL, though, they do have the Shadow Fiend and a Wisp stacking for him. And Saksa, I would also say that this is probably one of his most comfortable heroes as well, playing on the Winter Wyvern. So it's not as if 4CL are playing really out of their comfort zone. Just going to come down to, like we talked about, the early game is going to mean so much for both of these teams.
And at the moment, looking at the CS in the lane, well, Pycat, he's just going to come up here for the 2-minute rune, and well, you get the Arctic Burn slower onto Ake, now walking up, chasing him away. I don't think this Lich is going to survive this one anyway. First blood there to EGM as he takes down his former partner in crime. Ake to fall, and first blood to 4 Clovers.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of emphasis on trying to just take away everything they can from Pycat, so he's just going for the top rune.
Bottom lane, we might see a kill here for Alliance. They'll blink forward, trying to get Nikwa, and one more right click should just do it, and Alliance, they'll get themselves a kill in return, bringing it to 1-1. S4 picking it up on the quad.
I mean, Night Stalker is actually quite hard to kill early game, so a bit surprising that Nikwa gets caught out like that. He even has a pretty deep ward in the woods right now, so maybe just not being able to see Minuts, he could have come in from an angle that he just didn't have a chance to see. So 1-1. In terms of overall farm, Loda is leading a little bit over the Shadow Fiend, but that's kind of to be expected when you have a Lich that had been sitting mid for a while. Pycat's really going to start to get his farm up though once he goes and takes those stacks.
Yeah, look at these. EGM is doing an absolute top job here with the double stacks. Is he going to be able to get both of them? I believe the timing should be right, and he does. These are huge stacks. You know, when Pycat does go back and get this, he's going to be a fair bit ahead of this Tiny.
Yeah, the one thing to note though is a lot of times, like if you look at the ward placement of Alliance, they're keeping tabs on where EGM is all the time, so they understand that he's stacking. And it's very, very frequent that you see contention coming out from a team that has a hero like Tiny, like Queen of Pain, who have that early AoE to just be able to go and get the farm and possibly take it away from Pycat.
Yeah, stealing those will be absolutely huge. Bulldog at the moment found himself level 4 on this off lane. And compare that to how Nick was doing, level 3, so a little bit of an advantage here for Bulldog. And CS-wise, has managed to find a fair bit, 14 CS at the moment on this Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, it's very difficult actually to zone this hero, especially somebody who's so proficient on it like Bulldog. Because Treants are actually pretty hard to trade with as a ranged hero. They hit for 26 to 30 damage, and I mean, Winter Wyvern only hits for 45, so that's not really too big of a difference. If he just walks them at you, you kind of have to back, otherwise you're making an inefficient trade, so he is finding quite a bit of space.
Bottom lane, Nuts. We saw him find that charge earlier onto the Night Stalker to get the kill, but 4 minutes in, had to really find another opening. I mean, you were talking about it earlier. It's going to be a hard game for him to find these charges across the map.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you look at Spirit Breaker and you're thinking, okay, this hero is kind of meant to break down the laning phase a bit and have a real good target to just continually charge. He's going to see an avalanche or harass here in the middle lane, but he's gotten 1 kill at least, which is more than I thought he would get, given the way that 4CL have laid this.
Bottom lane, S4 and Nikwa just being very aggressive, trying to put as much pressure as they can on this tower. S4 very close to picking up the Sonic Wave, halfway through level 5. And Nico's got to be that little bit more scared. In fact, there is backup now coming into the bottom lane from Saxa. Maybe seeing if they can get an Arctic Burn touch onto one of these heroes. Nico's ready with the Crippling Fear straight away onto S4. Beautiful coordination with the Zone 4 Clubs. There is a charge. Buying time. Can S4 get himself in time? No, the silence is too long. They'll take down the Quap. And a very nice move from Saxa.
That was a really nice rotation. Like, as soon as he hit 4, Saxa TP to the tier 2, and he realizes, like, this is the point where the Night Stalker can actually start to do stuff, because you actually need 4 if you're going to put 2 points in the Void, because without Crippling Fear during the first night, you can't kill Queen. It's just impossible. But 5-second silence on level 1 proves to be a little bit too strong. I think Minot's reaction was a tiny bit slow, but I don't know if it would have mattered either way. I think he was just dead.
And here we have at the moment EGM trying to pick up some levels in that mid lane. It's got to be a little bit careful of Ake and Loader. And of course back in the Dire Jungle, Pycat now beginning to clear these stacks. So it looks like he will get away with it, and Alliance aren't at a point that they can do anything to stop this. So they're just going to have to let these go, and Pycat is going to be very, very happy picking up this farm.
Yeah, they know they're pretty safe. Sometimes it's, for a safe lane like Queen, you can find yourself teleporting around and actually just trying to contest mid a bit, maybe try to take the stacks, but since they knew he was dead, it's like, okay, whatever.
Top lane, Bambo going rather aggressive here with the Fireflies, now backing himself up. There is a charge coming through for Nuts. He's a little bit far away, just at the tier 2 at the moment. We'll see if he can follow through on this. There's no regen on Bambo. He's 1900 gold towards that Blink Dagger. We'll see if Nuts does commit it. Is he going to go in? Is he going to go deep? It looks like he's going to go for it here. He may need a bash or two to find this kill. No, okay, with the Nature's Wrath, they'll get themselves that one. And Bulldog picks up a vital kill there on the Batrider, setting him back about 300 gold towards that Blink Dagger, which he was so close to.
Yeah, delaying that is going to be massive for Alliance. Like, getting the Queen to level 6, getting Load to a point where he can actually start taking fights, that's going to be crucial, and making sure that Bambo doesn't have his blink timing to kind of disrupt that.
Top lane, 4 Clovers aren't happy. They want to try and find something. Moving forward here, they'll get the Void slow, and now they're going to move in onto Bulldog. They'll get themselves the kill with the raises from Pycat. So getting a little bit of a revenge and more money into the bank of Shadow Fiends as 4 Clovers again on top of the rotations.
It's very interesting to me that 4CL, you know, they don't have a traditional tether target, right? I guess during mid-game you
mid lane, Saxa. He's going to get the Cold Embrace out in time. I don't think he's going to get himself out of this one. The toss is there, slammed down by the guys on Alliance. They'll take the kill. 4 Clovers are moving in now. Nico's trying to go for this with a Void on Ake. The balls as well flying through BGM, and they'll get the kill onto the Lich. 1-for-1 at the moment, now more turning up. There's a charge across the middle of the fight. Nuts bashing them all over. The Sonic Wave from S4 hits onto 4 of them. Nico to fall. Bambo getting tethered up. He gets the last off onto Loader. Loader will drop to the right clicks of Pycat, and now Pycat's trying to find more. He's looking for Nuts. EGM tethering up Bambo. Bambo's going to get healed up just in time with the Cold Embrace, and Nuts will charge away. So Alliance go full-on aggressive there in the mid lane, but 4 Clovers, they are able to pick that kill on Loader on the way out on that fight.
Yeah, the time you got lassoed into pretty much a double raise, and most of the time you're not going to live through that at such an early stage, but both teams realizing how important the early game is, just non-stop pressure everywhere. Like Queen of Pain TP, they know that if they give away too much to 4CL during the mid game, it becomes really hard to play against Night Stalker, Bat, and IO together. And being a team who's so good at the hero, Alliance realize that they don't want to put themselves in that position.
I mean, they were so close as well. It looked like Alliance had that fight when S4 hit that 4-man Sonic Wave.
Yeah, the charge was actually really good too, coming in from Minots. He actually hit, like, I think 3 people with a stun, so...
Well, we're going to see if they, side of Alliance, can find anything here. Ake and Loader. Now smoked up. I'd love to try and find a pick-up on one of these two heroes, EGM and Pycat. And the ones that they've set their sights for. They've seen them now as the creep wave comes around on this top lane. Loader, he's level 7. He's got a fair bit of potency with his combo. Yet to hit level 6 on Ake, so they don't have the Chain Frost. So they're just going to check out the jungle, see if there's any stacks, but at this moment in time, they have all been cleared up, so nothing in the jungle, and it looks like Alliance won't find anything here with the smoke.
It's a bit unfortunate. I mean, they did drop a ward or two, so it wasn't a complete miss. Charged mid here on the Soxa.
Let's see if they can get this. They've got the wraparound from Loader and Ake. It's going to be the Arctic Burner now with the TPs. Hello, Loader might be in trouble straight away again. The lasso in the exact same point as before. They get themselves another kill on the Tiny. They're moving on to Ake, tries to turn around for a blast. It's not going to come out. And again, 4Clover's finding 2 key kills. And Bambo's lasso on point again.
I think Peter mentioned this during the draft, but the Shadow Fiend IO lane just totally crushes the Tiny. It's very, very hard for Loda to find a lot in the early game, and you have that with 2 deaths, where Pycat had somebody stacking for him, and there are a couple of stacks in the woods for Alliance as well, but I mean, this is what, a 2 stack? Yeah, so it's 2 stacks, which isn't going to be enough to recover to where Pycat is at. He's got mech and treads, Aquila, full wand, 9.5 minutes into the game.
That's crazy, Pyke. I mean, we were saying at the start, just Pycat, SF, you got to watch out. There's a reason why they threw 3 heroes down the mid lane at the beginning. You know, trying to get Pycat this lead, and he's certainly got it now. A good 1.5k ahead of the safest, the safe laner of Alliance S4 on his quad. I mean, this is exactly where you want your SF to be. Bottom lane though, Nikwa, he doesn't want to be there. There's a charge, S4 coming through as well. Bulldog with the TP, Nikwa in a lot of trouble, tries to turn around with a bit of reverse harassment onto S4. Is it going to pay off? And they get themselves the kill there, Alliance. Very nice pick off, and managing to include Bulldog in that one as well.
Now, with these little skirmishes, Alliance finding any kill is going to be crucial. They know that going for the Shadow Fiend right now is very difficult unless they throw everything at him. So with that in mind, I wouldn't be surprised to see 4CL maybe try to group up a little bit, go for some tier 1s. You have that mech so early that Alliance's damage is not really that great unless they can throw everything out onto the single target.
I'll see what the next point of call is here from both sides. Alliance sticking it around the jungle. S4 has got that Sonic Wave off cooldown again if they want to try and look for something. And that's, yeah, he's going to go for the charge on Saxa. Saxa, I think he realizes something is up. He's Arctic burning himself away, and yeah, it's going to be enough for Nuts to cancel and hold back on that one. Won't be following through. And here's your relocate Bambo. He's actually caught out S4. Oh, EGM brings Pycat in as well, and hello. S4 gets the blink off. They're not actually going to be able to find this kill. So even with the lasso and the relocate, it wasn't just enough to control this quap, and I guess that's one of the downsides really of that tricol when they go for a kill. Oh, and the lasso's already been used.
Yeah, that was a little bit interesting actually. I guess they thought it would be a little bit longer before Soxa's sprouted.
Nature's Wrath. Already fly through, and there's a TP, so yeah, Nuts isn't going to go for this one. Hasn't quite got the mana here for a Nether Strike, and with the TP in from Bambo as well. It's going to slow this one down, but Alliance are looking to group and go. Do they have a smoke here? Or are they just going to go straight for the push? It looks like they're just going to try and get some momentum going on this top lane. In fact, the full 5-man all ready to fight. Nuts leading through. They've found Sax. They've linked. They'll get the Shadow Strike. The Scream's there as well. And with the right clicks, they'll bring him down. Alliance, they get the quick clean kill. The TP is actually going to be cancelled here by Pycat. And I think this may be 4Clover's just letting this one go. They do not want to try and stop this full 5-man push from Alliance.
Yeah, they're just going to go for the counter pressure. Try to push in mid a bit. Push in bottom. I think it might actually be better to just use relocate with Nikwa if it's nighttime, you know, because then you can actually like silence the Queen of Pain after the lasso. You don't have to actually kill the hero in that time, because as we said earlier, the Shadow Fiend isn't a traditional wisp target, you know. You don't really see that being the combo most of the time. Some hero with some kind of disable.
Charge is coming through on Supply Cat. EGM, he does have relocate, but there's the Nether Strike controlling the IO. IO will go down to a bash. They get the Winter's Curse on Deadfall. The Red Griffins are on the races. They're turning it around. They found 2. They're going to get the last onto Bulldog as well. He's almost certainly going to fall as 4Clovers find 3. Double kills for Pycat. Beautiful Winter's Curse. And hello, there may be more. They get the Arctic Burn slow onto Loader. Flame Break will bounce Loader back towards them. The blink from Bambo. He's just playing with the Tiny, and they take him down as well. 4 kills for 4Clovers, and some beautiful team play from them there mid lane.
That escalated quickly, as they say. He actually sacrificed EGM there.
Let's have a look. Yeah, when should they pull it out, Andy?
So he goes for the ulti here to try to blow up the Wisp, but the mech keeps EGM alive a little bit longer than I think they had expected, and instead of going for the save, Soxa comes in with a really nice curse that just annihilates S4. And at this point, the fight's already over. Like, you've lost your Queen of Pain, you use all of your burst damage, and 4CL just come in and clean up.
And Nuts was just pushing out the top, does TP away as the movement from Nikwa was heading in his direction. Bambo, 1k gold now on top of that Blink Dagger. And he's going to just TP himself out, S4. Just finding some farm here in the jungle, trying to make his way towards that Orchid. And Bulldog himself looks like he's going to be going for the Shadowblade build here on the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, this is a really hard game for Nature's Prophet, actually. When you're behind, as this team against Night Stalker, it was mentioned on the panel, and again inside of this game, is it's very hard to play this hero from behind when you know that relocate ganks are always a possibility. So you need an item that's going to allow you to be more mobile and make 4CL invest in buying like sentries, dust, things like that, just to be able to spot you out. Otherwise, you're kind of just a free kill. So at the very least, you're making them commit something. And I think Bulldog is very good at playing that kind of game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Bottom lane to relocate. Bambo's ready to jump on Bulldog. Bulldog across the street, but they get the lasso. EGM and Pycat turn up, melt through the Nature's Prophet. And we'll see if Alliance want to try and fight here. They do have the Nether Strike. Are they going to lead in? They are. S4 blinking forward here. And it's going to be the relocate back out, taking Pycat away from this one. Bambo could be the one that gets sacked here on the side of 4 Clovers, and he will be. They get the vision, they get the bashes, and they will find the return kill. So the two solo laners just falling for each other there. Bulldog for Bambo.
I think it's okay though, because I think Alliance are more reliant on Bulldog right now than 4CL are on Bambo. Like if Bambo finds a kill and has a trade, okay, he's pretty much done his job. Because the rest of 4CL's lineup, if you look at it in a 4 versus 4, they're actually very strong. I think Alliance have a hard time taking an engagement right now, considering how farmed Pycat is. Like, he has full SMY coming right now.
Avalanche from Loda isn't going to catch anyone. He gets the top to Pycat, but they just turn with the right clicks. They destroy Loda. Loda just disappears. Oh, the Sonic Wave's beautiful. The Chain wants to pull up as well. Maybe Alliance can turn. Winter's goes down on 10-4. EGM gets bashed up. The Requiem comes out from Pycat, and Bulldog's going to get himself out. He's stuck in the trees. He's going to get taken down. He's a 2 for 2 at the moment. S4 just hiding in the sideline. Saxa and Pycat trying to look for him here. S4, maybe he comes back out. Nuts and Ake moving down the lane. There'll be the charge onto Saxa. He's cold embraced himself up. Pycat still down the back. Oh, the Splinter Blast. The right clicks. Pycat has no mercy. Double kill from the man. Nuts is going to try and get himself out. He's going to charge in 3 seconds. Is going to be soon enough. 1 second. No, the fire's there. The triple kill from the Shadow Fiend. Pycat destroying his old teammates here, as it's a beautiful performance on this SF, and he's now pretty much double the net worth of S4 on his quad.
Okay, so I think if we can take anything away from the games of 4CL so far here at the LAN finals, don't give 4CL Shadow Fiend. Like, just don't do it.
Loda's got to run. Hey, he's got to get himself. He's already used the Avalanche. Okay, they're actually going to take Pycat out of this one. And yeah, they've already found the tier 2 there. They'll look to just get the pressure going on the other lanes.
He just finished his SNY as that fight was kicking off, right?
And got 2.6.
He's got 2,700 gold after he just finished up the SNY. It's 16 minutes into the game and he's got 12k net worth. Like, that's insane. I don't think they actually have the damage to kill him if the Wisp is nearby anymore. It's just not possible. Like, the way that Alliance have to take a fight, they have to drop everything on one person, but having a Winter Wyvern is really good for that.
Charge onto Nico, S4 blinking forward. Nico's fairly tanky, and now he's just going to turn and go onto Nuts. Nuts has got the cape, walks it off. Pycat trying to get lucky with the razors, won't quite find it. Nando and Lights, do they want to try and fight? They haven't got a Chain Frost here for 20 seconds, but Ake's just moving in. Getting some vision down here around the pit. Thing is, though, 4 Clovers, they're already in there. Pycat working away at Roshan. Alliance, so they're ready to try and formulate a fight. 20 seconds until S4's got his Sonic Wave. I mean, this may just be a little too long, and I think the time might be here for 4 Clovers to take this Roche. And Alliance, they just don't have the oldies to jump in.
The Furian's not up to a point where he can actually do much in the fight. That's the real problem. Like, he goes for Shadowblade, but in a 5 versus 5 fight, Shadowblade is not useful. And if you look at the map that Alliance are working with, he doesn't even feel safe to split push. So 4CL just get this free.
Bambo forces in, blinks onto Nuts, brings him back. Nico's there as well. They're trying to work with this. EGM and Pycat come through. They get the right control down. The Chain Frost is out, but they've already found the Lich. They're trying to get Nuts. Nuts, he's going to go down as well. Double kill to Pycat. Pycat does get tossed off here by Loda, but he's going to get himself back in the fight as they move forward. Bulldog gets caught. Well, the Winter's Curse, in fact, coming down, holding him in place. And 4 Clovers just cleaning house now. Bulldog's going to hide on the high ground. He'll get taken down by Saxa. In a 3 for 2, 4 Clovers did lose a few, but again, a favorable trade here for the Dire.
It's a rough road right now for Alliance if they want to get themselves back into this game. When a Shadow Fiend is this far ahead, and you don't really have a good physical damage hero, it becomes increasingly difficult to deal with him. I mean, he's feeling so confident, he just goes for a crit. Like, he's not going BKB, he's not going Scotty, which are the typical items that we see for a Shadow Fiend. He's like, nah, I was gonna buy a Daedalus. I got Wit, I got Overcharge, damage reduction, and I mean, honestly, EGM has been following around most of the game, and I was kind of thinking at first, that it's not like a super strong combo for killing, but he's so tanky. That's the problem. They just can't kill him.
They really can't. Yeah. Well, top lane. Let's see them go for a bit of action. Nikwa is going to get charged down here by Nuts. Nuts going to hold off and just lead him with another strike. And Bulldog turns up, says, I'll have that kill. Takes that one for the team. Kill secured, and well, Alliance off the back of that, trying to force this tier 2 on this top lane. Bottom 4 Clovers themselves, getting the momentum going towards this tier 2. Potentially a trade. Fortification will come out from 4 Clovers. We'll see if Alliance do return to try and defend this tier 2, or if at this point they've just got to let it go.
Well, I think that trying to contest Shadow Fiend right now is maybe a mistake. Like, you don't want to try to take a 5 versus 5 fight against 4CL at this current stage. Splitting up the map is what Alliance always wanted to do. It's just become very difficult due to 2 things, Night Stalker and Batrider. Also, EGM's relocates with Pycat. As soon as that happens, you have to pretty much abandon the fight right now. Alliance just don't have the items that they need.
Daedalus stun on Pycat. Touching on to level 16 as well. We're 19 minutes in. This man has reached 15,000 net worth on the Shadow Fiend. This has got to be definitely up there as one of Pycat's best performances, and I'd imagine it feels pretty good for him going up against Alliance.
I think they disband Shadow Fiend next game, Alliance. Like, that's really the main problem. So they pick this Lich lane with tiny mid, right? Because they want to win the laning phase. And they don't actually win mid with it. So then the Lich doesn't really offer much. I feel like the Spirit Breaker kind of fell flat as well. He didn't really do anything controlling other lanes besides bottom, and any support could have done that, right? So I'm kind of questioning if the Spirit Breaker pick was the right idea, and if they could have done something else maybe to actually help win mid a little bit harder. Because Pycat had no pressure this game. Absolutely none.
Radiant's middle tower has
And Gem now picked up on the Wyvern. Almost certainly going to be given over to the Night Stalker once he finishes off his axe. And here's the push. There we go. Brings S4 back. Bambo straight in.
Alrighty.
And there we have it. The record's been set. Pycat's performed this game. A patch record for the net worth on this hero. He does get tossed back, and this might be a big deal if they can bring Pycat down. Pycat can get himself out of this. The charge is there, but he's got the Aegis. He's ready for round 2. Loader and S4 on the sidelines for 30 plus seconds. And 4 Clovers will use this time to take the mid-tier 3. And maybe even more here, Andy, as 4 Clovers are just rolling over Alliance at this point.
And their lineup needed to have one of 2 things happen. Alliance needed to either kill the Shadow Fiend a few times, maybe contest the stacks, and they didn't end up doing it. That kill on bottom lane where S4 died, I think, was pretty crucial in that regard. Like, not hitting 6 faster and not being able to contest mid to help kill the stacks. And then the other thing is, like, the Spirit Breaker just did nothing for me. I really felt like the pick when I saw it, I was like, okay, I see what they're trying to do here, you know? They want to try to mix it up a little bit in the early game, but it just didn't do much. So then you have this mid game where Shadow Fiend is completely free farming, gets kills the first couple of times that Alliance actually try to fight mid, lives through all of the engagements, and up until this point still doesn't have a single death. You just gotta ban the hero, honestly.
Absolutely. I don't think we're going to be seeing this hero again from 4 Clovers.
I think it's a little bit of a weakness though that Alliance as a team don't actually play Shadow Fiend, because when you're Radiant as a team, most other people who are playing against you will always ban Shadow Fiend just because it's so good on that side. But Alliance aren't the team who do that, right? Because S4, they mentioned on the panel too, Peter said S4 just doesn't play Shadow Fiend. So I think it's, in this patch especially, it's kind of rough.
Oh, there's a smoke up. It's actually going to get dispelled by Bambo, and he's actually still going to jump in. He goes in, grabs Loader. The dust is there as well. He's been going to caped up, and now with 3 heroes coming in onto Loader. Can they get it? Maybe Alliance can look for the turnaround here. Nuts charging forward, trying to make this a favorable trade, but EGM comes in from the back. Saxon and Pycat looking for the fight. The Chain Frost comes out, but it doesn't matter. They've already found 2. The side of 4 Clovers. Bambo getting bashed up by Nuts. S4 blinking forward with the screen. They will take down Bambo on the Batrider, but they've lost 3. The Winter's Curse onto Nuts. They lose 4. It's a 4-for-1 trade once again, favoring 4 Clovers, and Alliance just can't win these fights.
I think this game had actually, they've been on the back foot for a while. It seems weird saying that, right? Because it's a 22-minute game, and the net worth for Pycat's 19,000 at 22.5 minutes. That is absolutely ridiculous. There's just nothing they can do, honestly. Like, some games you can come back based on the enemy team making a mistake, but he actually just has so much farm that he's almost got enough for another, like, tier 1 item. So if he wants to go for Scotty now, if he wants to go for, like, AC, Butterfly, you know, whatever the choice, he can pretty much straight up buy it. And if you compare that to what Loda has, he's got a Shadow Blade and Drums, which still isn't even, like, if we're talking about farm for the stage of the game that it is, it's not even like it's that bad. It's just when you compare it to Pycat's, it's like, okay, well, how do we kill this hero?
They've got to do something big here, Alliance, if they wish to recover here in game 1. I mean, what is the plan here for the side? What can they do to try and punish Four Clovers when they look for these very aggressive movements from the Batrider? I mean, we saw Bambo there. It didn't look great at the start because they were sitting on the sidelines, about to jump into a fully smoked up lineup of Alliance, and somehow they just come out on top. The relocate comes through, and they've got all the resources to just turn the fight around.
It's just solely the Shadow Fiend. Like, that really is the story of the game. Sometimes you just lose to a hero, and this game Alliance lost to Shadow Fiend. Because, I mean, obviously everyone at 4CL played a part. They stacked the jungle for him. Bambo had some really nice picks early on that helped him create some space so that Pycat didn't have any pressure. The team played very well around the hero. But a smoke here, looking for a potential kill. Scouting some treants.
And I think it's going to be Ake in a lot of trouble. As he gets picked off it by Nikwa and Saxa. He'll make them work for it. As Saxa claiming the kill onto his icy brethren. Now the push from Four Clovers. They've already found other tier 2s. They've of course found the racks in the mid lane. They're ready to look for another lane.
Oh, he just buys a whole Satanic. Okay, yeah, that's
that's the thing.
That's it. Yeah, that's good. Good item. So he's gonna have like what, close to 30 armor and 24 or 2500 HP.
Pycat, I mean, it's not a stat we normally look at, but his current GPM 830 gold per minute.
They actually just cannot kill him. It's not possible anymore. Like, they would have to throw him into the well.
Well, even at that point, I think they're going to need at least 7 ultis. Pycat, he's now going to look to take the tier 3. Rex now exposed. What are Alliance going to be able to do to stop this? Okay, Loader gets lassoed up.
Oh my god.
And it's Tiny gone. Chainfrost coming out. They're trying to do the best, but S4's been silenced. He can't get off the Sonic Wave. They'll get the Red Room off Pycat, and now he's got to go to work. Holy crit, just melting through the Spirit Breaker. Loader does get the toss back here onto Pycat, but Pycat says thank you for moving closer to Bulldog. Bulldog trying to TP out. Isn't going to work. Triple kill for Pycat. Looks gets the charge. He gets the bash up. DGM will take the kill. They've got the buyback to Alliance. Can they force Four Clovers out of the base? I don't think they can. Nuts is going to go down. It's a dieback on the man. Ultra kill for Pycat. Give us the Rampage. He's going to get it. And that pretty much sums up this game. GG is called. Pycat on that Shadow Fiend. My god, Andy. He ended the game with more net worth than the 3 cores of Alliance.
If I had the chance to warn people with weak constitutions to look away for that Shadow Fiend performance, because it was ugly for Alliance at the end of that game. Like, I don't know what else to say. 4CL just played a phenomenal game. A lot of little things went wrong for Alliance in the early game. We talked about not being able to contest